Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Still setting things up. Hold on one second. Bionic, hello. Welcome in. Let's see if okay, I got water. I got snacks. We're good to go. Welcome in, everybody. How is everyone doing today? I need to talk into the microphone. That would be helpful. What is this music? What is happening here? Do that today. Okay. You got games on your phone? Do I have games on my phone? What? Do you have Uno? Doing well. Me and my friends are making characters together. That's awesome. That sounds super fun. If people want to play games in the Discord during the stream and stuff, they're very welcome to. There's an open chat for that. Not the one I'm in, but there is an open chat for that if you want to do that. It is Wednesday. It is the viewer suggestion. I'm going to draw me some rugby today. Ooh, I have a purple. I like purple. Gotta warm up. I spent all day drawing yesterday, and I feel like I haven't drawn in forever for some reason. Maybe my arm is like fatigued. I'm not sure. I drove my truck for the first time today in a couple months. And I don't know if the brakes were just dirty or what, but it totally smelled like I was just burning on my brakes the whole time. Maybe they were stuck on from all the grass that grew up around my truck. It was weird. Seems fine now. I don't know. Don't know what happened. But everything smells awful. Tin Can, hello, hello. What is going on? Yeah, there's a handful of games in the Discord that people can play now because we have the Nitro stuff going on. Start an activity. We tried to do that a few months ago. Maybe that was for Christmas. Tried to set it up so people could play games, and I think like 2 or 3 people showed up. If that's something people are interested in, so definitely something we can do. Corvus, hello, hello, welcome in. Make sure that our Discord's actually turned on today. Nope, it's not working. Okay. Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Live streaming on. I mean, I'll start a beef with Bill Maher. I have no problem with it. I mean, I don't like listening to him, but I'll start a beef. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Dude,
There we
you
go.
literally sound like some old man who can't understand young people under than 40.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bill Maher is kind of one of the old school corporate Republicans, corporate Democrats, which is, I mean, he's a comedian. At the end of the day,
He's allowed to have his.
he's definitely.
He's allowed to have his opinions.
But I don't know. I remember when I was younger, he used to be on Comedy Central all the time. I think he still has a show on Comedy Central. I'm not sure if it's still there or not. But
I think it moved to HBO.
That sounds probably correct. I remember watching him back in the day. Now he's a little too angry and aggressive all the time for my liking.
Mm-hmm.
So Corvus is mute. Oh, there he is. Yeah, sorry. I don't know what's wrong.
Yeah.
For some reason, I have to set up the Discord really weird to be able to stream. I think I probably need to update OBS and Discord to see if that fixes the problem, but currently it doesn't. Ooh, that was weird. Kind of had a chokey choke there. I'm right.
Don't die.
Yep, trying not to.
But yeah, it's just like his explanation basically boiled down to, I don't understand people under the age of 40 anymore, and that scares me.
Who is the guy that was on Jon Stewart all the time? Shoot. He's another old comedian. I can't remember his name, but his whole bit was that he's just old and doesn't understand the world, and I loved it. But either way,
that could describe a few comedians.
Yeah, I mean it's a good thing to be.
To be old?
Well, I mean for comedians, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For those of you that don't know what's going on, today is Wednesday. It is the viewer suggestion. We will be drawing characters that have been submitted by the community. If you have a character you'd like to see drawn that was not submitted on the community post this week, you are welcome to submit it now in chat. I will put it on the list, and then we roll some dice. And we see what we draw. This is a really chunky rugby. Like, this is like Disney rugby. Rugby put on some weight. I know the feeling. Right after my eye thing happened, I was scared to eat anything because I thought everything was going to kill me, which it probably is. I lost about, I don't know, 5-10 pounds. I'm slowly gaining that back. I just feel very chunky now.
A request came in.
Oh, got one. Okay. And I found you not too long ago. But my goodness, you have been such a positive find in a long time. That's great. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Thank you. Okay, SDM, how are you doing today, by the way? Can you draw my character? It's a changeling druid. What is... I can. Like, we can put it on the list for sure. But I'm going to draw it like a changeling. Unless you tell me what it looks like. Oh, what is up with this? There we go. Got it. Copy. I'm still trying to figure out how the pen works on this thing. And I struggle to select things sometimes. New setups are always weird. Okay, it's on the list. And then I'm gonna grab. See if I can grab OKSDM's YouTube channel here. Which, can anybody go? Can anybody click on those things and? Just me? Okay.
I tried the other one time and you had to make me a mod.
Got it. Well, go check out OKSDM stuff. It's good stuff. Whoop, whoop.
Oh.
That works. Whatever.
Yep.
Looks really sylvan, but kind of like a forest nymph. Okay. Yeah, we can put it. It's all on the list. Let me finish up this rugby ears, and we'll roll some dice, and we'll see what happens here. We'll see who we're drawing today. And I'm glad you're liking the channel. I'm trying to keep the videos positive and upbeat and happy. As anti-Bill Maher, so we can get... Well, that's not true. There's a lot of ways to go anti-Bill Maher.
Oh, yeah.
Cynical. That's the term. He's very, very cynical. Which is fine. You know? It's a political comedian. You probably got to be that way sometimes.
Yeah. It's just weird, like, I don't like Bill Maher, but I very much like John Oliver and Jon Stewart.
Yeah, they're definitely different flavors. Like they have kind of different outlooks on like the left-leaning side of politics. And that's the weird thing. Is like, yeah, I get a lot of Bill Maher in my feed too, because I like a lot of Jon Stewart and a lot of British Ratman. I can't remember. Shoot.
British Ratman.
John Oliver.
Oh.
He bought that rat painting.
Oh, yes. Oh, poor HBO. They had no idea what they were getting into.
Yeah. What is it? The aficionado of rat erotica? Is that what I think? What he said?
Yep. I loved his little spiel on the leader of, I believe, Turkmenistan.
Oh man, I have no idea. I don't know if I probably saw it because I think I've seen all of them stuff.
Oh yeah, he is obsessed with gaining world records.
Oh okay.
Which apparently every type of dictator is.
Power mad people.
It's just like, it was kind of hilarious because he did like this big massive marble sheet cake with the guy falling off a horse.
That's right. Okay, I do remember seeing that. Andrew, hello, welcome in. All right, I think I'm warmed up. I think that's a pretty good rugby. I think that's a good place to start. So the way we're gonna do this, I'm gonna roll some dice. I have a list here of all the things people have suggested. We're gonna see which ones we draw. That's just how we go. 14. A big human flesh-warped barbarian in Resident Evil style. I don't know what that means. Like SWAT gear?
Resident Evil style zombie?
Dick replacing his right arm. Wields a flail. Is a prince. Flesh warp barbarian. I think I'm gonna have to cut some of this. So flesh warp barbarian with a hood and a stick for an arm. All right, we'll try that. We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
I agree with Andrew. They probably meant like Resident Evil style zombie.
Okay, I can do something like that. I mean, does that mean like one giant eyeball, or like? Or lots of eyeballs on his back?
It sounds more like Bloodborne.
I mean, It's not also Bloodborne, but Resident Evil likes putting eyeballs in places that shouldn't have eyeballs.
I never played a Resident Evil game, so I wouldn't really know.
I'm trying to think if you'd like it.
I don't think I would. I know it's probably barely considered horror to some people, but like any type of jump scare, I'm just like, nope.
No,
nope.
I mean that's kind of what I was thinking. It is very much a horror genre. Like, it's a lot of jump scares.
Yeah,
a lot of jump scares. Lots of just like ah.
Yeah. Like considering I've never touched Silent Hill.
Silent Hill is a lot more. I think it pushes the spectrum that direction more. Especially like Resident Evil 4 just got a remake and it's great, but it very much is like when the genre shifted to combat heavy, and so the original Resident Evils were a thing, and then Silent Hill was like, what if more Resident Evil? Like it feels very very similar, but less guns. Like you really have to kind of just maneuver your way through the world. The Resident Evil remake is one of the best games ever made. I mean, Resident Evil is solid. I'm not going to dispute that, but
yeah, I'm also not going to like knock people's pleasure games. I said that weird. Games they like playing.
I really think you'd like the stuff that came out of Elden Ring and Dark Souls. Like a lot of the world building is, I think Resident Evil does really well. Like you find things and you have to interact with items that kind of give you the story of what's going on. But then it also has a pretty good narrative that you get to follow. That is missing in like the Bloodborne games. So yeah, I don't know. Theming wise and feel for the universes, I think you'd really like Resident Evil games. But they are very more like I said, they're horror based and kind of panic inducing, as I said at some points.
Yeah.
As an artist, what do you believe are the most iconic things to add to a druid character in terms of outfit or overall look? When I'm making a druid, essentially what I'm thinking of is someone who is like dedicated themselves to something. So I always try to incorporate whatever kind of druid they are into their class. So if like they're a swarm druid, they probably have bugs or hives or something on them. If they're a fungal druid, like they're surrounding themselves with whatever they're interested in. Like, so whether that's fur or feathers or mushrooms, that's usually what I do for druids. Or I give them a staff. those
and maybe antlers.
Yep, staff and antlers. Those are my go-tos. I don't want to give him a big giant eyeball, but I will give him weird teeth on his head. That feels very Resident Evil-ish. Like there's something huge kind of growing around his face. A t-shirt? Maybe. I still have nostalgia glasses. A lot of my friends don't think a lot of original games are as good, but to me they're still good. Yeah, I think Resident Evil 1 and 2 are one of, like, I have a friend that those are his favorite games. Like, he has told me that many times. Like, those are some of my favorite games. And so for me, I liked those games. I played them a lot, but I have like gripes about them that he just like don't care, love it, and it's just like, all right. So.
It's like me with the Dragon Age games.
Yep, same thing with the Dragon Age games. There's a lot of old games that, and maybe it's because I kind of looked at a lot of games differently. One, because I worked at a game shop for a few years, and then I wanted to design video games. So I have a little bit of anti-nostalgia goggles because I actively like kept going back and looking at games continuously throughout my life, and comparing games and breaking them apart. So yeah, like Resident Evil great games are amazing and I love them, and I think they're a great kind of a boon for the whole genre, partially because they defined a lot of the genre for like combat horror games. But like the controls are kind of jank. I really struggled with kind of the way the movement specifically, and like the camera angles are kind of bad, especially some of the old games. But they were doing that specifically to entice an emotion, so like I can't fault them for doing it, but they could be better. Like that's really the thing. Still says how good Dragon Knight 1 was. Yeah, tank controls. Not a big fan.
Yeah. I felt that way when I tried to play Borderlands for the first time back in college.
Ooh,
it's just like,
yeah,
the controls were just very wonky to me, and it's just like, nope, I'm done. I can't deal with this.
Was so excited for Borderlands, and I hated it. I just did not like it. Like it's a style that I love. It's a type of game that I love. Like everything about it screamed like this is going to be great, except that it was cell shaded. I was like, I don't like cell shading, but whatever. And then I got into the game, and it was just like I got so bored so fast, and I was like, this sucks. I don't know what happened. So, yeah, I mean, there are different things happen all the time. I have a lot of friends that still love those games, so you know, not all games are for all people, and that's okay. Like it can still be a really good game, and people not enjoy it. Yeah, Borderlands just felt like a lot of movement, and I remember like because the RNG was so heavy, you would either have, there were two different experiences I had with people playing the games. Like this game is way too easy, or this game is boring because like you never find a good gun or a gun that works, and then you get to a boss and you just have to like sit there and shoot it for forever, just waiting. You're like, yep, not challenging, just takes a lot of time. Neat. And so it got real old real fast.
Yeah, I'm just like,
It just said metal stick. I think I'm gonna give it like a big sword arm. I'm gonna take a little liberty and sharpen the stick.
I was gonna say, was the stick supposed to be the flail?
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Let me read it.
Yeah, reread it, because like you're right. There was a flail on there, but like it did say stick for an arm.
Mm-hmm.
Which to me does not read flail. Borderlands was a good I think Borderlands pushed a good concept for kind of the looter shooter that exists now with like Destiny and stuff. So like I don't have a lot of beef with Borderlands, because really what it was in my mind when I was excited for it was like, what if Diablo but with guns? And I'm like, yeah, cool, that sounds fun. Like first-person shooter Diablo, that sounds great. It was not that. It was mechanically kind of that, but there was a lot to it that just wasn't that. Hellgate London was another example, which I think Hellgate London did turn into Destiny. I think they got a lot of the people from that team to build Destiny, but I'm not sure. What's the prompt for this guy? This is a flesh-warped Barbarian. So I'm giving him a cloak because I'm going to hide all of his weird muscle stuff, but then I'm going to really Cronenberg this up.
Yeah, so it says white hood covering face, a metal stick replacing right arm, wields a flail, and was a prince, and backstory.
I'm gonna give him a big flail on the other side. I guess flails don't have to be big. Like a Morning Star, it's a flail. When I read flail, I always think of like the big boy flails.
Well, Morning Star isn't a flail.
Okay.
It's just a spiked mace.
So let's. Well, okay. Are we talking about one of these? Or one of these.
So from a like mechanical gameplay mechanic for D&D and Pathfinder, a Morning Star is basically a mace that does piercing damage
Okay.
instead of bludgeoning damage.
From
And
a
a flail is basically a ball on a chain with a stick attached to it that does bludgeoning. That's the only thing I'm saying.
mace flail. Someone can fight me on this. Like, this is legitimately like in my mind, all of these are flails. Am I wrong? Am I out of my gourd?
So, the ball and chain with a stick is a flail.
That's a flail.
The 3-section, yep.
Okay.
The 3-section staff, totally a flail.
Mm-hmm.
So are nunchucks.
Well, this was supposed to be a big that should be like that. This is really what I think about. Yeah, when I think of flail, I want to draw one of these, just like two staff with a bit on the end.
Yeah. And that would be more of just kind of like a big two-handed mace, like
a wobbly mace.
And one with, yeah.
It's like the cat of nine tails is a whip because it doesn't have the balls on the end. But I think if you put, I think any two hard objects attached by a bendy bit is a flail.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
It's just morning stars themselves aren't attached to like a chain or anything.
Okay. But then, I thought the morning star was specifically a ball on a chain. Okay. Or maybe the morning star just denotes the spiky ball, and then so you could have a morning star flail.
Yeah,
that would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I could buy that. I think that's a good way to denote it.
Yeah.
So what are we going with here? Should I give him a?
Well, they said flail,
so
flail. Ball and chain.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Morningstar is just spiky mace with like things that'll stab into you instead of break your bones.
Gotcha. Morningstar is spiky mace. Okay, as long as we're all agreed.
So sorry.
No,
I didn't mean to do this.
I mean, that's a good discussion to have.
Yeah, and it's D&D and Pathfinder related.
Yeah,
so.
Because you're right. Like mechanically for the game, it doesn't really matter. Like your flail mace can look like anything. It's just like, okay, well, what stats does it have? It's like, well, it's got it does piercing damage. It's like, well, it's a mace, and it's like, no.
Yeah, because like most flails in Pathfinder have the trip or disarm traits attached to them.
Okay.
Because you could wrap the chain bit around it and just move someone's weapon out of the way or trip them up with it.
The more you know. Just Googled it. The only thing that can set a Morningstar apart from the mace is the spikes. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Like we're definitive then. Longsword can mean a lot of things depending on the context. Yep, that's fair too.
Oh yeah.
You know what? That's absolutely fair. I was playing Elden Ring and I wanted to make like a red mage character, and I'm like, man, I'll use a rapier. Why not? And then I found the great rapier, and I was like, that doesn't exist, right? No. And I had to look it up, and I'm like, that's a made up thing. They made that shit up. They did. It's fake. But I just thought that was really funny.
The closest we can get to like a big old two-handed rapier is CS talk.
Right. Which is technically a longsword, I think.
Yeah, it's just
because it's a flat
longsword. Right? It can be flat or square.
Square, okay.
But it's like its pure purpose is to stab people. You can't cut with it. Gotcha. It's just. I try not to be a sword bro. It just.
Yeah,
I watched too many videos. It's like, dang it.
We had a weird short conversation about like guns and stuff the other day, and it really is just like weapons are cool to me. Like they always have been. When I was little, I used to read like medieval sword books and stuff. It's just So I don't think it's ever weird for people to be like, I really like swords. It's like, yeah, they're cool. Like that's great. That's a great thing to nerd out about, right? Like, I think it's absolutely fine. For anybody that like nerds out over tanks or airplanes, it's the same thing. It's just a different variety of these are dangerous and I want to learn more about them. It's like, yeah, do that.
Like every time I would get money and just like, could I buy me a sword with one of these? I'm like, no, don't do it.
Yeah,
it's a waste of money. You're
As someone who was 19 once and had a job. I worked my ass off since I was like 16. I bought a lot of dumb shit. I have a lot of like random, just stupid looking knives, and it's like I don't need this. I don't know why I have this, but man, it looked cool when I was younger.
Yeah.
What's the term they use now? Like mall ninja.
Oh, yep, mall ninja.
Mall ninja swords.
Tactical ninja swords.
Yep.
God, they're so ugly.
I don't know what it is about the design
like,
of Pathfinders and other fantasy tabletop guns. Must be complicated. I mean, not really. So, like, if you're going back through fantasy, this is something that someone made an interesting point about. Like, people were saying, like, oh, they want to keep their fantasy, like, real and, like, through the medieval ages. Like, the time frame for cowboys, medieval knights, and mummies it's not that far apart. like I think those are closer in time than, say, like us to like pioneers. Right?
Yeah.
So
because considering that samurai in like
that was the other one,
fictional genre could literally, if mummies were literal undead, samurai could fight them because they existed. It would have been
I think that's what it was. I think it was like mummies, samurai, and cowboys are closer in time than what was I can't remember. It was a funny meme, but like that's the idea. Like, you can definitely say, especially if you're playing in a magical fantasy world, like all of those things can exist in the same amount of time because like cell phones are the thing that are farthest away from them. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, yeah. Synthetic longswords are too fun. That'd be pretty cool. I like that idea. Wall hanger knives? Yeah, wall hanger knives. Like I have a master sword. That's pretty cool. I had a really nice master sword. And like a fiberglass Hylian shield. And I was Link for Halloween for like 5 years, 10 years in a row. And then there was someone I worked with at a restaurant, and he had like 5 Legend of Zelda tattoos, and I showed up to a Halloween party for that job with all my Link gear on, and he had like a little tiny foam sword, and I was like, do you want my Link costume? Like, you're way more into this than I am. And he was like, oh my god, yes, I will buy it from you. And I was like, done. Like, that's like, this person deserves it. This person deserves this costume way more. I love Link, but like, no, this guy was into it. So I don't have it anymore. But I have a crappier version of the Hyrule sword.
Yeah, I'm picturing all like the tactical, edgy, quite literally edgy, pointed knives, and just like, this is a health hazard to you.
Yeah.
And people around you. Just like spikes everywhere.
Glass bottles, glass windows. Peasants have locks with tumblers in them. Rapiers were invented hundreds of years after plate armor. Castles are installed with official mods. In post-canon era. Yeah. I mean, like, there's a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't make any sense for fantasy games. So don't worry about it.
Why does this peasant have a lock?
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing, right? Like, the thing with a lot of fantasy worlds that I think is the biggest kind of thing you have to overlook is like hygiene.
Yeah. Well, depending on where you lived, like if it's European setting, yeah, people were pretty nasty.
Yeah. And I've done that a few times where like people will go to like a tiny podunk city and just like there's nothing here. Like there is nothing here. They're like, but I want to sell my magical items. It's like, to who? like there's nothing. There's zero things here. And that's not fun. Like people get upset about that. So it's like, yeah, there's no reason not to have, you know, a level of industrialization and like maybe the world's not so shitty. That way people can buy magical items and sell them in different places. And it's just something to think about when you're balancing your world, because yeah, if you do have a world where people can buy magical items, then, you know, peasants aren't maybe not so bad off. Maybe it's not, you know, medieval Europe, unless that's the setting you want to put in your game.
Maybe there's a robust middle class.
Yeah. There's got to be some weird tentacles. That's the other thing that Resident Evil has. I think I'm about done with this guy. I'm not really sure what else to do with him, so I think we're about ready to roll the next character.
And gnomes. Leave my gnomes
Also
alone.
gnomes, yeah. Hold on a minute. I'm rereading Lord of the Rings again, because I do that every couple of months. And I got to the point where they're chasing after Merry and Pippin after they get kidnapped by the orcs, and it's just funny listening to the narration of like Gimli and Legolas, because like I forgot that dwarves hate horses in Lord of the Rings. Because they're here like we don't want to give you guys a horse because we don't want to give a horse to a dwarf, and the dwarf's like, I'll never tell anybody because I don't want to ride it. And I was like, yes, I forgot about this. This is great. Like there's just so much little flavor like that exists.
Yeah, it's because they're short. I imagine they're kind of like
Legolas refuses to have a saddle and bridle.
Oh God.
He jumps on the horse, and the horse is just like, yeah, this is good. Everyone's like, what the hell? So yeah, elves are great. Elves are fun. Super fun.
The fact that he can walk on top of like fresh snow, and it's like, okay, Mr. Magical Boy.
Yep. Glass used to be super expensive. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, so if you're living in a world where there are wizards and stuff, like, there's probably a wizard somewhere mass producing glass. Like, yeah, it's just things like that can be super cheap. You can't go fully like realistically, because then you really have to start defining like, why is it so expensive? Like, why don't people have fire? Why can't there be blacksmiths that know how to do this? What's preventing it? What kind of magic spells wouldn't work because glass is so expensive? So there's a whole ton of stuff that like goes into it. Sometimes it's fine to just like have fun with it. No one cares.
A guild of glass wizards.
Mm-hmm. I forgot which tabletop RPG game, but they have had a gnome dwarf who had developed a basic germ theory after making a magic magnifying glass. Little demons of plague. That's pretty funny. I like that.
That sounds very much like a Warhammer type of thing.
That could be.
Like Warhammer Fantasy.
A female satyr monk who is a street thug boxer. All right.
Interesting.
Wait, did that say shifter or satyr? My eyes are not great today.
I heard
Shifter.
satyr.
I said satyr, but it says shifter. I need to clean my glasses. It's not a joke. I actually need to do that. Hold on. Female shifter street brawler.
But also, Little Demons of Plague is just like kindergartners to me as well.
Do I want to go boxer? They said boxer, so maybe I should do a boxer pose instead of a
monk pose.
Yeah. Shoulders up, or hands up, or shoulders down. Because we could do like a a Lee Sin style pose. The hard thing about drawing boxers is like they're very closed off around the face, and like that's the thing people want to see. So you either have to draw them like mid punch or something like that. Maybe with the fist back. Dodging a punch. I need more D&D questions to answer on shorts. I'm not really sure how to get them. I asked the community for them, but for some reason, like the community posts don't get much traction unless we're doing the viewer suggestion. It's really strange. So I don't know if people aren't seeing them or maybe people don't know their mind unless there's a picture on it. All right, what kind of shifter should we make this? Right? Yeah.
And of course, as a Kentuckian, had to post Muhammad Ali.
Is he from Kentucky?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't want to post like 12. That's fair. It would be kind of weird if it became like Rook answers Bionics questions.
What type of shifter?
Could give her claws.
I'm just thinking of like back alley bobcat.
That could be interesting. Could do like little cat ears.
Yeah. Catra.
Yeah. We just did the another Artist Arcana where we talked about drawing hands. And just talking about it a little bit like helps so much. It's really weird. Like, one of the best ways to learn how to draw is to teach somebody else. I think you just actively
these hands.
Yeah. Do you want to fight me? Do you want to catch these hands?
Catch these hands. So good.
I love that meme. So good. What's this? Is that the meme we were talking about? Or
No, this
Artist
is
Arcana?
your video.
Okay.
Yes.
Do a little bit of fur here. How much shifting should the shifter do? Should I go full werewolf? Not box standard warlock, sorcerer, or other class origins. I don't know what that means. I could definitely talk about it once I understand what it is. Do you mean like letting people homebrew their own backgrounds, like their own
patrons?
Okay. Are people tired of seeing Cthulhu warlocks? Maybe the pact is a curse that mutates you as you level up. Do people not do that? That's how I've always done warlocks. I've always attached a chunk of like slow manipulation to it. But maybe that's because I'm used to like the oracle, which like comes with a curse that gets stronger. Pathfinder's a lot better about like level scaling. Most people default to sold soul. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Very Faustian.
I think that's an easy one to pick up. Kind of like the dumb barbarian, you know? Like the archetypes for those make a lot of sense.
Faust was very much like the archetype idea for warlocks.
Yeah.
I sold my soul to the devil.
I hate this face. I don't know what I've done here, but I don't like it. I think I want like more of a cat nose. Am I drawing really tiny again? I'm drawing pretty tiny. Make this a little bigger. Druid's not here today. I can take up all the space I want.
Yep. I think maybe using some Klingon references might help you.
Klingon references? Maybe. It's boring seeing a sold soul warlock for the 7,000th time. I mean, yeah, I really do think that that's like... what is going on here? Oh, I have the wrong drawing in white. I was like, why is this erasing everything? I think that's kind of inherent with the warlock, though. Because whether you're like giving your allegiances to a fae or a demon, like it is inherently different than, say, worshiping something and becoming like a cleric. Yeah. That being said, I'll argue till the end of my days that the only difference between a cleric and a warlock is the choice of devotion. So, and part of the problem with that, really comes down to 5E's. Warlocks are overpowered. They just are. Like they're too efficient in what they do. Padlock the Luckton. Yeah, like it's everybody just wants the warlock functionality of cantrips, and so they don't care about their characters, and they're like, yeah, I'll sell my soul for more power. Let's do it. And it's easy, right? So whether or not you want to just come up with a good background for your character, or if you were tricked into it, I think that kind of mentality of this is how you get the power is by some larger being taking part of your soul is kind of inherent in the warlock itself. So I don't know. I'd have to think about what I'd want, what to do with it.
I don't know so much Crawford or other people actually making DD push it, but I know I've been seeing more pushes for like save your soul. Think about it like there's an actual contract. Like you physically had to do something for them. Like I don't know, gives them a baby once a year.
Like birth a
Something
baby or
like
steal a child?
that. Either or.
It's not
I don't
described
know.
in the contract. That's terrifying.
Well, what I mean is like
Rumpelstiltskin.
that was
Yeah.
just me. Yeah. It's like
Yeah, that's fair.
it's like you gotta poison a well, which spreads a plague if you have a rather nasty patron.
Warlocks draw the line and friend zone their packs. That was actually something. Kevin the Necromancer tried to play a character for a little while that was the undead. He was an oracle and he was an undead cursed person. And he's like, okay, I want to be really powerful. So essentially, like he's gaining power from this. And he's like, the downside is that my plague is deadly to gnomes. And I was like, yeah, all right. And we forgot about it for like 6 months until he was talking to a merchant, and then like shook his hand, and then we forgot, and he's like, wait, is this guy a gnome? And I was like, yeah. Oh no. And so we had to start building in this plague that had started spreading between the gnomes in the city because of it. Like that would be a good like warlock pact, right? Like you have a chemical pact instead of to a specific deity. You have this infection that gives you power, but it has a downside to it. Like that could be an alternative for it, right? I think you can get creative with it, but you'd really need to figure out where that power is coming from, and why can't anybody just have it, right? That's the biggest part of it.
Yeah.
I might, you know what I might do? I might do something like this. Nope, I screwed that up. No, I don't like that either. Put it back. Maybe I should just go full werewolf on this. I'm not sure. Yeah. Judges in Klingon. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. I'm just.
You checked out Black Flag at all yet? I haven't. What is Black Flag? It sounds familiar.
That is Cobalt Press's a new thing they're coming up with.
No, I haven't looked at that yet.
Unless they mean the show Black Flag.
Cobalt Press, okay. Ugh, I can't draw lips today. Apparently I should have given Rugby some like really fancy lips. That's what I needed to practice on. Also, Do 1 is now old. D&D 1 is now called D&D 5e. Is this April Fool's? I don't know. Maybe that was an April Fool's joke.
I wonder how Druid's been.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll message him later and see what he's doing. Apparently it snowed again in Idaho, so weather could be shitty.
We're supposed to get some storms sometime tonight.
Oh no, I missed April Fools. Yeah, I'm not a fan of doing too many April Fools things, so everybody and their mother did a I'm sorry, I'm canceling my YouTube channel, and I was just like, ugh. No offense if you did that. It's not my thing.
But when everyone does it, it's kind of obvious that it's a prank.
Yeah. It was that, or like a month or two ago, everyone was doing I'm sorry apology videos.
Oh, yep.
Just like barf, 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 barf.
I mean, hey, if it works, it works.
Yeah, I think there's definitely I'm definitely a wet blanket. Like I understand this. I understand this about myself, and I am.
I don't want to say it.
I'm one to kill the fun. So I need to just not like. I don't want to trash talk it. People can definitely do that stuff, and people enjoy it. Great. I'm just not into it.
But we're allowed to totally trash talk politicians.
Sure.
And commentators. Pulling back Bill Maher.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to talk to Bill Maher sometime, but like I am not versed enough in his circles. Like I could not debate him. I don't have anything interesting to add to the conversation. I'd just be like, what's it like being you? Because I am not you, and you have a completely different outlook on life than I do, and I don't appreciate a lot of the things you say.
Yeah.
But I appreciate his opinions and things.
I feel like his response, depending on the context that this was happening, like if it was real time, his show, he'd probably say, well, tough luck, Snowflake.
Right, yeah.
I feel like that would be his response. It's like, not really the response that should be said.
Okay, I think I've fixed the face. I think I'm generally happy with where this is now. Got some fuzz. We got some muscles.
Balls.
Got the claws. Got the ears. I'm not really sure what the hair's doing. I think it's just gonna be short. It's kind of like a little cut crop top here. I don't know what I missed. I think Idaho should merge with East Oregon and be called the China. The cow, or I was gonna say the cow coast, but it should be like the potato coast. Bill Maher was like pre-Joe Rogan. Yeah, I mean that's part of the thing is like we were talking about it is like he still shows up on our feeds and stuff, but like Bill Maher was a super liberal in my eyes growing up, and now he's more moderate. And it's interesting because yeah, I grew up in Idaho. Like I grew up and people hate it. Like I remember I have family members that like actively hate him, and it's like, ugh.
Funny, because I first learned about him in college, and I was like, oh, he seems cool, and then I just started watching more, and I was like, I take this back. He would hate me. Also, does Idaho border Oregon?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting the whole weird border situation between Idaho, Montana, and the West Coast. Like,
yeah, like I said, I don't really have a problem with Bill Maher. It's just not my. He's really, I think he's he's just very critical of our political system, which I think is fair and kind of needs to be there. But his opinions sometimes are just kind of a little too, like I said, a little too cynical for me. It's like, oh, suck it up. And it's like, that's not helpful. Like, that's not helpful to anybody. But also, like, he's been very critical of, like, political correctness, which is funny. And so it's like he's maybe not wrong, but also he's not tactful. And yeah, so I don't feel like I ever watch any of his stuff and then I walk away with like, interesting thought. It's just kind of like, yeah, I guess. And like, that's not how I want to be. I don't want to walk away from things feeling like you're not wrong, but also gross. Like, ooh, I don't know how to feel about that. So
yeah, with like compare the other person I know who's been kind of been publicly critical of political correctness is like Stephen Fry, who himself is pretty liberal, and they tackle it in very different ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it's like,
because like my whole thought, and I think Stephen Fry is more on this edge of things, is like, one, comedy should be open to criticize anything. That's fine, but you don't have to be mean. Like that's I think the biggest thing that Stephen Fry goes on about. It's like, comedy can be critical, but you don't have to be mean to do it. You don't have to openly hurt somebody. You don't have to actively try to be offensive to somebody. And so for me, like, while I don't always agree with political correctness as a, like, everyone has to be politically correct, I believe I myself, because I'm the only person that I can affect, can try to be accepting for people. It's like, if I say something that offends you, please let me know. I may or may not change it, because it's like, I can try to accommodate you the best I can, but if it becomes something of an issue that I can't always accommodate you, or I have to accommodate just you for something, it's like, I might not be able to do that. And that, I think, should be a reasonable response. I should do my best to be tactful and be polite to people, and the rest is, it's not something that people can be overly upset about after that, right? Like, do your due diligence and try to be kind to people. Like, that's all it has to be. And it doesn't have to be you're not stupid and dumb for wanting to be polite. And I feel like that's kind of a lot of the political things. People just get super angry and upset about stuff.
Because it sort of is an unsaid, not rule, but implied thing about the social contract in America. It's like, be polite to people.
Yep. First rule of the internet. Don't be a dick.
Yep.
Will Wheaton had it right. Bill has always been so vulgar that I couldn't take him truly seriously. Yeah, and that's kind of the thing. Like, his jokes are a lot more at the expense of people. Like, oh, look how dumb the libs or the Republicans are. Like, how dumb can you be? And it's just like, can we talk about it in a way that isn't aggressively, like, mad at somebody? I would like that. So, all jokes are always at the cost of someone or something, but there's 100% degrees on how hateful they can be. Yeah. There's a wing of free speech called brutalism that believes language should just be that. I think we have enough world history to have a certain amount of respect and tact. Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, once again, if somebody says something that is inherently, like, I have a problem with this from time to time. And it's something that I deal with my friends and family, is that I think, actually, Andrew, I kind of not exposed. I believed in that. I don't remember the word I'm trying to use for that. For a long time when I was younger, I was just like, I'm going to say what I mean, regardless of the outcome. And
unfiltered.
Oh yeah, I completely unfiltered myself. Unfiltered truth is the way that I looked at it. And
how many friends did you have?
A few. I had a few really good friends, and I alienated a lot of people, because it very much is a being brutally honest is helpful in some situations, and in others not helpful. And so I still struggle with that, like, trying to be tactful sometimes, because a lot of times I want to just tell people, like, I'm not having fun in this conversation, I want to leave. And it's just like, wow, why are you being an asshole? It's like, that is how I feel right now. Like, I'm just telling you exactly how I feel right now. And that's not helpful, right? Like so yeah. So there's definitely like there can be a balance, and when you have the time and effort to like make a TV show or make a like a YouTube series like this, like I have the time to not do that. Like I can definitely try to not offend people. I can be politically correct because it's not something that I'm doing live. Like here it's a little harder, but like yeah, if you have a whole group of writers or you're producing a show, you have the time to like make sure that things should land the way they want. And so I don't know. I think people just can take things a little too far, and it bothers me sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm rolling the next one. What is an Azketi? Azarketi.
Azure Kitty, they are.
With a glaive. Is that yours?
Yes.
Nice. Okay. The dice have spoken. I remember you talking about the glaive.
Not expecting it. Yes. I'll pull you up some pictures.
Just don't go all fifth gear all day. They definitely a place for vulgar, highly critical talk. Yeah, and like I said, like especially comedy, like comedy needs to be able to be critical. Like if you censorship is bad when it is the way it's supposed to be, like a government says you can't say something, right? That's censorship. But when someone says, hey, you can't say that because it offends me, that's not censorship. That's fine. So I'm totally open for comedians being highly critical and pointing things out. You don't have to be mean. And I think that usually happens when you go from saying like specific things are happening to this one person is doing this thing. And it's like, you can stop it. So like the more you punch down and the more you specify specific people, it just gets rude and I don't like it. Sorry, what were you saying?
So Azure Kitty are Pathfinder's like fish people.
Oh.
They were but not mermaids. They have legs and everything. They were actually transformed by the thing we fought last Saturday in Pathfinder. An aboleth.
So aboleth created fish people.
Well, this particular. They took humans who kind of worshipped them and morphed them into fish people.
Interesting.
And they have lots of feats and lots of like heritages. It's like, hey.
Can I get some pictures?
Yes. Here's you 2 of them.
Nice. All right. I like it. Do you post these artworks someplace to see the finished products? They look awesome. Yeah. So we post them in the Discord. There should be a link down below in the Discord and Draw tab under live streams and recording. And we post them all there. And if people want to use them for like their home games or whatever for their character sheets, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, in first edition they used to be called Gilman.
Gilman, okay. I'm like, I swear that already existed.
Yep. They decided to like, that's maybe not the best name for a group of people, so let's call them this name. But yeah, there's like one that lets you have spines that you can shoot out like a lionfish.
Okay.
That does poison damage. It's like, that's interesting. So their big detriment is they have, once every 24 hours, they have to submerge themselves in water.
I was going to say, okay.
Their skin will dry out and they'll take penalties.
I watched the new Wakanda Forever, I think it was.
Gone Forever?
Wakanda Forever.
Oh, Wakanda Forever.
Yeah. I liked it.
Very confused for a minute.
I liked it. They had the Marvel Aquaman. Namor, I think.
Yes, yeah.
I dig it.
The only thing confused me was his winged feet. I was like, why does he have like Hermes feet?
I mean, ask Stan Lee, man. I never understood that myself. it was always really weird. Original Black Lagoon creature was called the Gilman. Oh, okay. Black Lagoon. Yeah, no problem, Panda. I think we were talking about the Sweden thing earlier in the week.
Yes.
And maybe I don't need to go into that too much. But like the big thing I pulled away from that is just how much I guess I can explain kind of what it was. Sweden just changed their recommendations for how hormones and hormone blockers should be used on youth for transgender transitioning. And there was a big study that they were looking at and saying, like, we don't know how helpful it is because 15% of the people that detransition, but of that, like 85% of them transition because of outside influences. And it's like, that sucks. Like, that really sucks. That a lot of these people that are struggling because their parents are mad about it, or like the society just keeps pressuring them to be different about it. And so every time we look at that and we look at people being like hypercritical of the trans community and the LGBTQ community, it's like, I think we should be more critical of how we discuss it and less about the people that are actually dealing with it. Because even through that, like, it's such a small percentage of people that are having the issue. Why is it such a large political thing? And it sucks, because it's like, if people could be just more compassionate in general, then we wouldn't have to have these culture war issues where people are yelling about it, because it's, oh my god, there's a woodpecker slamming my that scared the hell out of me. There's a woodpecker going around and it'll land on my chimney and just like brrr, it's like bleh. But no, compassion, right? Like that's the biggest thing. It's just like, oh, I have to hurt this woodpecker. I love your talking points. Yeah, 15% of people detransition of this study they were doing. So yeah, like I think what it was, and I could be wrong, this is from the Swedish health department. I can't remember the name of it. I don't have the notes, which is why I don't want to talk about it specifically, like super in detail, but like that's the gist of it, is that there's a percentage of people that go through hormone transition, and then about 15% of those people detransition at some point. And of that, most of those people that detransition don't detransition because they like, oh, this was horrible, I want to be gone. It's because people are outside influences are pressuring them to do it. And so Sweden just basically changed their recommendation, saying, hey, we want to stop doing the transitions on younger children because we want to let them develop differently. Or like, just let them kind of go through all that process first and then transition. And a whole bunch of the talking points on the internet have been like, oh, see, we're vindicated because Sweden says that they're banning the use of these things. And it's like, that's not at all what it is. Like, that's not at all what it said. That's not what the research found. And to me, a lot of the research is just saying like, hey, people are assholes and it makes all of these people's lives more difficult. And that makes me sad. Makes me sad and makes me upset.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of that stuff, and this is my Idaho blood, is just like, the government shouldn't deal with a lot of that stuff. That should be between you and your doctor and your family. But at the same time, like, asking the government to regulate anything like that is it's a tough subject. And the fact that it's people's careers are being made off of fighting and arguing for that stuff. It's just gross.
Yeah.
So I hope everyone
Looking
here
at
is
you,
loved and happy and safe. And
Matt Walsh, that's his name.
what's that?
I was trying to think of that one guy's name, Matt Walsh, who has made a career off this topic. He's worse than Ben Shapiro.
That man I do despise.
Yeah.
Hear me, YouTube? Stop sending me. Now that we talked about it, like, it's just gonna flood my feed again.
Yeah.
Is that an elf?
But
It is a Gilman. Which is not the right term because I can't remember it. What are these called?
Azure Keddy.
Azure Keddy? Blue?
Sounds Italian.
Yeah.
They can be
The Blue Man?
Blue Man Group.
I mean, maybe.
So they can be different skin tones depending on like where they lived. So like the ones that live like say in rivers or more marshy lands, they have more human tones, while the deep sea variety are like dark blue with bioluminescent spots.
Which I super dig. Grifters are the worst.
Yep.
Grifters are the worst.
Yep. Doesn't matter which side they're on, just any type of grifter. No, I say that they're not on anyone's side but their own side, so.
Yep. What's the...
You there?
Sorry, I was thinking. There was something
Got
sounds
worried.
too good to be true. Someone's trying to sell you something.
Yep.
And I was thinking about that, and I'm like, join the Patreon. I'm definitely trying to sell people. I don't want people to get it twisted. Buy my art, commission me, throw money at me.
And if you do become a Patreon member, you get coloring sheets and
I did.
stickers.
Yeah.
now.
Did you get yours this week?
Yes, I
Sweet.
got them yesterday. I got blue across the living room when the wind started kicking up this morning, so I was like, crap, where'd they go? I got them all.
I'm not a grifter. I am a salesman.
Yep.
I'll be very upfront about that. A friend brought me a liberal tears cup from a Ben Shapiro website. I couldn't stop thinking about how much money that guy gets for nothing. Yeah. Pretty gross.
I don't know, he just... Never mind, I was going to say something, but it would sound too mean. I was like, nah, I'll be nice.
Yeah.
He would not give me the pleasure, but...
No, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like, it's like, oh no, it's fine to trash talk Nazis. It's like, I mean, yeah. They have the right to talk, even though it's fucking garbage and shitty. But we don't need to be mean to them. Yeah, like it doesn't help anybody to just be vitriolic and hateful people, which sucks. Because it's like, so we just ignore them and let them be shitty. It's like, yeah, kind of. That's it.
Yeah. Someone posted something I actually kind of agreed with. It was about tolerance. Like how we're kind of taught throughout our life to be tolerant people. But the moment someone is intolerant, they have broke the unsaid social contract, so it's perfectly okay to be intolerant towards them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's an interesting way to look at it. Like something... do unto others, like the thing is like, no, it makes total sense, right? It's like everyone agrees not to murder each other, but as soon as somebody tries to murder you, you can kill them, right? Like it's like whoever breaks the contract first is in the wrong. But it like, and that's like the argument with pacifism is just like I've decided to never react. I've decided if someone is violent to me, I will not be violent back to them, right? And it's just like that doesn't make sense in your head. And so when you see people being super intolerant, like, you want to get up in their face and be like, hey, you can't do this. And like, oh, you're breaking my freedom of speech. And it's like, oh, you're not wrong, but I hate it. And it's really tough. The irony of tolerance, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so,
so am I, Andrew. I'm from Kentucky.
Got some Kentuckies in it. Kentuckies? I was going to say Kentucky boys up in here. I'm like, that's not right. But then it just came out as, I got some Kentuckies in here. Some Kentuckets? What are people from Kentucky called?
Kentuckians.
Kentuckians? That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Idahoans isn't great either, but...
No, I feel like that's worse.
Yeah. Washingtonians? I'm not sure what it is for Washington yet. I haven't lived here long enough. Definitely not Washingtonites.
Utahites?
I think they're Utah. Oh man, I almost said Utahonians. That's not right either. I have no idea. I have no idea. My point being, if someone's being shitty, ignore them as best you can.
We're called Nuggets.
Nuggets. Kentucky Nuggets.
KFC.
Don't feed the trolls, people. That's all I'm saying. Don't feed the trolls.
They'll bite your hand.
Yeah.
As a Texan, I have unassailable right to celebratory revolver fire.
I saw a comedian last night. I think he was from... I think he said he was from Mexico. I'm not sure. He's like, people, men in the United States go shooting for fun, and that's just the weirdest thing to them. Like, nobody's ever shooting a gun and having fun. I'm like, what about all the countries that just shoot guns in the air wildly? So, I just thought that was I thought that was an interesting way to think about it. Like, people from other countries don't have that mentality of just like, hey, you want to go shooting? What? That's what it was. My friend asked me if I wanted to go shooting, and I said, oh, who are we killing? who are we going to murder?
Yeah.
Like, no, we're just having fun. Which country are we overthrowing today? Weird to think about how other people think.
Yeah. Well, you're not the center of the universe.
Yep.
I mean, but going back to what do Kentuckians call ourselves? In my case, not redneck, but hillbilly would be the more correct term.
Hillbilly from Kentucky.
Yeah. Also prefer the term hillbilly over redneck. Don't know why, just do.
In Idaho, they prefer redneck, but that might be a Jeff Foxworthy thing.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably why I don't like the term redneck, because it was kind of just warped by early 2000s Comedy Central comedians.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not what a redneck is. They were coal miner unionists, what rednecks were.
Really? I thought they were people that, for me, rednecks have always been farmhands, people that lay pipe, and, like, fencers.
I mean, I've also heard of that one, but in at least the context here, most people, a lot of the coal miner unionists called themselves rednecks, and because they wore red bandanas as like part of their sign of their solidarity with each other.
Interesting. Didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I always thought it had something to do with just being outside.
Probably was originally what it meant, but then
the coal miners never got suntans, so they had to wear headbands. Oh, I lay pipe. I mean, I get the joke. I definitely get the joke, but like, no, I knew a lot of guys that that did either irrigation piping or yeah, that's the biggest one. Like, I knew a bunch of guys that did that. Some of them became oil pipe workers. I can't remember the term they used for themselves. I don't think it was pipe layers.
But yeah.
I don't know what NAFO is. Doesn't bite, we just meme or ban you if you're a disgusting person.
I feel like those are NAFO. Oh, North Atlantic Fellows Organization.
Oh, okay.
It's a meme and social media movement.
All right.
Oh. It's very new. Has to do with Russian propaganda.
Oh, interesting.
Like, countering it.
Gotcha.
At least according to the wiki.
Apparently Finland just joined NATO. That's what I was thinking about when I was like, what is that?
Yeah.
One of
It
our
was like
friends.
yesterday, wasn't it?
Yeah, and one of our friends lives in Finland, and so Jump Rope sent them a meme of like the Godfather, like, welcome to the family. I thought that was pretty funny. All right. I think that is the Gilman. I'm going to go with.
Yep. Finland's official. Of yesterday.
Suntan miners, yeah. Yep. Finland is official, which is terrifying as I'm an old cranky man, which is not necessarily the truth. I'm cranky for sure, but I could be older. Scary. It's scary. And good and bad, and it's just world is on fire sometimes.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna sit here and draw D&D characters because why not?
It's fine.
Don't you use D&D to escape? Yes, that's the point.
Yes.
Nothing wrong with escapism. Just can't inception yourself into nothingness.
Like if I want to play a fish person with a glaive and a 8-legged water lizard pet, I'm gonna play that.
Fair enough. Lily Neko asked earlier, which I just realized popped in there, the 15% of people detransition. This was one study that Sweden did looking at youth, I believe. So like people under 18 who began transitioning. Of that, about 15% of them would detransition, I think is what it said. And then of that, like I said, 85% of that 15%. So I think it's a pretty small number of people that like just willingly detransition after transitioning in their youth. But once again, the study was just talking about like them deciding to change the recommendations to doctors. Like it wasn't actually any like banning or anything like that, which is the reason I was upset about it, because I really do think a lot of that stuff should be medically based and should be talked about and be based on the doctors. So if the health organization says, hey, we have some new recommendations because we think this could be more beneficial or we need to do more studies, that's great. Like look into those things. You shouldn't be discouraging those. But politicians need to not overplay those, and they need to basically get their head out of their asses and listen to the.
They're not medical.
Not yeah. They need to listen to the experts and let the medical community make those decisions. So yeah, if people are interested in that, I can put that link in the Discord. But you can easily look it up as well. Just type in like Sweden studies, transition studies, gender transition studies. D&D characters start to play a new game called Pathfinder, and their Pathfinder characters start to play Blades in the Dark. Is Blades in the Dark an in-world game, or is that just another tabletop? My friend and I say that Resident Evil 7 references all the time. Man, I don't know if I could pull any Resident Evil 7 references. Another RPG, okay. I think I'm good with this one, Chris. I'm going to move on to the next one. I want to give him like bright blue dots, though, so I might do that first.
I can't stop you. Also, that is the
It's like a basilisk iguana. What's happening in that picture?
Kinda. So, I'm not sure if they're related to basilisks or behirs, but it's called a water wraith. It also sort of has like past front teeth. It has like lamprey-like teeth.
Yeah.
Behind that, so it's like.
Rolled a 6. A kobold kineticist who died and came back to life with undeath. Right side of their face is scarred off from how they died in the first place, so they wear a mask. Ooh, a kobold with a mask. That's undead. I like it. That sounds fun.
And there's a kineticist. But what type of kineticist?
Are there different kinds? Do you have to pick an element?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
I thought you just could use the whole. I thought you could use the whole list. And you just had to pick.
So you can basically pick an element, or you could pick like 2 elements.
Okay.
Like you could diversify yourself or like focus solely in a element.
University of Idaho just called me and asked me if I wanted to donate to them, and I just hung up on them, so we're good.
I'll be getting those calls probably next week. Popular where? Cthulhu. Oh, I didn't realize Call of Cthulhu was more popular than Pathfinder. Jesus.
Blades in the Dark is a fairly popular tabletop RPG. Interesting. Is it like less fantasy or something? This is a very beefy kobold I'm drawing now. I think I'm going to start over. I want to not draw a kobold from the side. I draw a lot of profile pictures because it makes the most sense to me. Alligators from the front look real stupid.
You could always do like the snout being downturned to like a corner.
It's true.
Blades in the dark.
Your TNT character. Don't know if that linked bad. I see the picture. I just don't like. I don't understand what the.
It's like a list of popular RPGs.
Gothic fantasy. Okay. Are kineticist monks? I don't actually know what kind of armor kineticists are supposed to wear.
So, I don't think they can wear armor. If they do, I think it's just like light armor.
Are they supposed to be avatars?
That's the best way of looking at it, yeah. Like characters from the...
Okay. That's why I think they're monks. Like,
yeah.
Is there kineticism
they just do, like...
based around martial arts?
I think that's a subclass that they could take, but a lot of times it's just like a blast of like elemental energies.
Okay.
Or chucking rocks.
I'm drawing real small again. I don't know why I'm drawing so small. That's super small. I'm so sorry, everybody. Like, why is my pen
Supersize it.
So chunky right now? It's not. Just drawing real small. How big was that fish man? He was alright.
I was gonna say he looked fine to me. Yeah, it looks like in 1E they were only proficient in simple and light armor, but no shields.
Okay.
And most of their abilities was based around Constitution.
I like that. I like that mentality, especially for like psychic type abilities that aren't really magic based. Things that are supposed to be like inherently based around your magic or your innate abilities should all be Constitution based.
The new one, which should be out in like 3 months. Because they're doing a big old elemental based magic book.
Okay.
So there's gonna be like a elemental instinct for barbarians, new spells for wizards and primals, and of course the kineticist.
The downside to that, I guess, is that being a good kineticist gives you more hit points.
They only have a D8. I mean, which is not the worst, but
yeah, that's a good way to balance it.
It's also not the best.
But I mean, like, having more Constitution is just going to make you tougher regardless. So
yeah.
But I think that's okay.
Yeah, probably why they gave him light armor. So it's like, well, not gonna be. You could tank a hit or two. Like, say, like a ranger could.
Andrew, if you did link something, I'm sorry, I got confused. I thought you were posting something in the Discord. Yeah, I don't think YouTube lets you post links unless you're a mod, which is why Corvus and I were able to do that. So.
Yeah.
So, kineticists should use weapons, or no weapons? Because I play.
I've mostly seen it without weapons.
Okay.
I know in 1A they could like infuse the element into a weapon. So
I was gonna say, yeah, because if
that-
I could be like a kineticist that just like had fire swords all the time, that would be pretty awesome. I would do that.
yeah. I know the Iconic has like a weird black club that she uses. So there's that.
I just like drawing masks. What time is it here? It is 1 o'clock. I should take a quick break, get a drink. Everyone, I think, if you can stand up and stretch, or stay in your chair and stretch. Look away from the screen. Every 20 minutes, you're supposed to look 20 feet away for 20 seconds. I've not been doing that, so I'm gonna go get some water, get a quick snack, come back, and we'll keep going. I like this little kobold. We're gonna keep going with that and see how it goes. So give me a minute. Give me a minute. And I'll be right back. But it's a good idea for me to get up and stretch, so I'm gonna do that real quick. Hang tight, everyone. We'll be back in a minute. I have run out of dehydrated apple chips.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to make more. Welcome back, everybody. F's in chat. Super chats in chat. Throw coins. If. Okay, so thought more about this undead. I wanted to make this look kind of skeletal. It's alive. I live. Can they just control fire? Like, should I want to give him like a breath weapon? Corvus got the reference.
I mean, they could control fire or water, metal, wood.
Are there metal benders in Pathfinder?
There will be.
Will be.
I know the main iconic is a fire kinesis, so Liz Sherman from Hellboy.
Yeah. She's way different in the comics.
So
that's pretty awesome. That's a good picture. I like that.
yeah. So it kind of gives me like weird Annie vibes from League.
Yeah, a little bit. Coins the Goblin says he'll gut me alive if I throw him again. Well, you gotta listen to your goblins then. I was looking at a bunch of the... Who did that art? That's my question.
Wayne Reynolds.
Wait, yep. Is it Wayne or Dwayne?
Wayne.
Right? Okay.
Yep.
I was looking at a bunch of his art. And something I noticed about when he does his stuff is like his characters' bodies are always very silhouetted. Like I love just like the shape language you get from them. So I want to start trying to do that a little more for my cloth. Because I usually just draw sexy boys. Like that's all I do. I draw sexy boys and very muscular creatures. And I think part of the reason I struggle with clothes is because I always do that and then I try to put clothes on top of it. It's like, no, I need to be thinking about what the clothes is going to look like before I slap it on top of a figure. So probably going to be trying to do that here in the future. Just be a little more fluid, a little more loose.
Here's her updated sketch.
For second edition?
Yeah. So, when they release the book, it'll be
nice. That looks really cool.
Fully rendered.
And like, oh, that's such a good shape, too. It's just like blocky, more blocks. Like, it's good. Love it. And then she's got this really cool shoulder pouch pack. I think it's a backpack.
Yeah. It looks like maybe like a bedroll.
Yeah. I love his work. So good. Big old bulky feet. Cool stuff. Love it. All right. Sorry I'm late. How's everything going? It's going pretty good. Drew some stuff today. We got some kobolds happening. Trash talk Bill Maher a little bit.
Reasonably. Not gratuitously.
Do you know how much my
We're not
channel would grow
monsters.
if Bill Maher talked about me in any like way, shape, or form?
Too many people.
I mean, I'll start a beef with Bill Maher just for that. I'll go on record saying, "Hey,
Wow.
Bill Maher, I have no problem with you, but if I can start a fake beef to get popularity, let's do it. Let's go." Send me those angry old people. I'm sure they'll love my artwork. I think I copied some of Druid's style today. Guess I have quite the video to listen to. No, we didn't do anything bad. Start another D&D panic. Have I told you about my Lord and Savior, Satan Ray? I was trying to combine Satan and Saren Ray, but it didn't work.
Satan Ray.
I should have elongated the like Satan Ray. That would have been a better pun, but still not great. I can do better.
I mean, D&D creates Satanists and anarchists. What now, Bill Maher?
I mean, Bill Maher lived through the Satan Panic. I'm sure he's got some good insight on it. Probably just call me a fucking nerd and then move on with his life. I'm a cheese nugget and no one can convince me otherwise. I like the design language of your character. Thank you. This one up here is not I just that was a little bit of a study sketch from a picture in the Discord. But yeah. I can't take credit for that one. Wayne Reynolds, Pathfinder. Check it out. It's good stuff.
Yep. Also does magic cards from time to time, as was, I believe, I think he also did maybe some 4th edition art as well, in addition to 3.5.
He's pretty pervasive. Like, his art is all over the place.
Yeah.
Hello, what characters did I miss? Can only hop on just now. What did we draw today? We've drawn on a few of them. We did a Fishman. Kobold.
Working on an undead kobold.
We're working on the undead kobold right now. I don't remember what the other ones were, actually.
We did a shifter
Oh,
boxer.
Yeah. Did the shifter. Fucking woodpecker. Do I light a fire or do I like my dad used to get like a cap gun and he would just go like shoot it into the attic whenever there was a woodpecker around. Can you guys hear that? It's so loud.
I can't hear it on Discord.
If he does it one more time, I'm gonna go lose my mind. Oh, and then a flesh warp. Okay, I'll be right. Hold on a second. Sorry, Skip Cat. Okay, I'm back. Okay. Mark Hall's looking nerd, huh? Where's that car? That would be pretty funny. I would put that on my Discord channel. Declared biggest nerd on the internet by Bill Maher. Oh my god. Okay, now it's fighting me.
Yeah.
It's fighting time. 1 second.
Throw your cat at it.
Stupid woodpecker. Alright.
Woody Woodpecker, is that for revenge?
Something. FBI, open up. It's weird that maybe my character's decisions have been picked and I missed it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna move on. Let's see what we got going on here. Ooh, natural one. Okay. A ghastly sheet ghost. Hollow eye sockets. Black skeleton is very gentle, so you can draw him with a butterfly on his finger. He's undead. Hope that makes the cut. Does he actually have like a sheet? It says a ghastly sheet ghost. Does that mean like bed sheet ghost?
That's how I'm choosing to interpret it.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. I got the milk, guys? I don't know what that means. I hope that's appropriate. FBI arrest your D&D party for war crimes because they killed such and such. That could be pretty funny. Just like halfway through a D&D session, just... I'd like to buy that magical shield, please. Everybody on the floor!
Cue that little video where it's like when stealth is optional in a video game.
Yeah. I did that once to Kevin the Necromancer after he killed a mercenary team. So I had they just went and turned him in. They're just like, hey, we know where this guy is. And so after a pretty long session, they were coming out of a dungeon, and the house they were in was surrounded by paladins. I was trying to make them go the other way. I was just like, yeah, no, you guys are totally surrounded. And they're like, we're fighting our way out. I was like, dang it. It's going to be rough. They're like, we don't care. I was like, all right, here we go. It was rough, but they made it. And you know what? That's totally fine. Like that's the beauty of, letting your players kind of do what they want. Like, hey, if you guys do this, it's going to be really rough. You guys might die because I want you to go the other way. But if you really want to go this way, you're welcome to try. And they did. And they did it. Changed the story I was trying to write, but you know what? That's okay. They'll never, ever fight the fire giants.
Just drop the fire giant on them.
I should have, yeah.
There, fight it.
You will fight my monsters. This is probably the least skeleton skull I've ever drawn. Like, this feels very, very soft. I'm trying to make it like a skeletal face. Because it's a ghost. Oh, it's a joke. Okay, got it.
Spooky, spooky skeleton.
Was that like a big... I never understood where that song came from.
It was like an old cartoon.
Was it?
Like from the days of like black and white Mickey Mouse.
Hmm. The meme lords have revived it. I like the idea that, like, a skeleton doesn't want to scare people, so he puts a sheet over his head. I like drawing spooky things. I don't know what it is, because I'm not a big horror fan. Like, classic spooky horror is good. Is good, and I like it.
Because you're secretly a goth.
That's fair. You know, I can't deny that.
I'm gonna say, when I think Mohawk, I do think goth. So
Also, when is your Why Should You Play a Hobgoblin video coming? I mean, that's already out. That exists. Yeah. The D&D party is going to come home and finds an entire town abandoned and look as if they've abandoned hundreds of years ago. They know when they now was around mere days before they left. Okay, gotcha. When they know it was mere days. Jump Rope ran us through a campaign like that one time, and the only person we got to talk to was like a creepy child, and we all got very confused, and then we never got to see what actually happened with that campaign because we like switched play. It was pretty creepy. I think the little girl was like a demon. I want to finish that campaign sometime. I'm gonna have to talk to her about that. Do you like horror with monsters or horror with silly? Yeah, so that's the thing. Like, I like Aliens. The movie Aliens. I like that kind of horror. The new Predator movie was pretty good. That's not really horror. It's like action horror, I guess. But yeah, like Scream, not my thing. Texas Chainsaw, not my thing. Gremlins, good, but that's more of a comedy. Tremors, good. Yeah, monster horror good. Monster horror good. It's horror. Okay.
OG Godzilla, pretty good.
Yeah. I like a good monster movie. Thrillers are usually expressed as a subgenre of horror. That's fair.
Yeah. I found out the first movie that was to get like I guess it was an Oscar or Emmy, one to two, was Silence of the Lambs, and that the Academy decided to change its genre from horror to thriller because they didn't want to give it their highest award to a horror movie.
Funny.
Because they have sticks stuck up their asses.
I mean, yeah, horror movies have been a lot more I mean, they're kind of like the B horror films, right? Like those have been around forever.
Oh yeah. They came from space.
Yep. I mean, birds.
Yeah. And they were just very adamant, like, no, it's different because we like it. It's like,
yeah. Somebody paid us a lot of money to say this.
Because like when Silence of the Lambs came out, it was classified as a horror movie, and then when people liked it, I'm like, well, crap.
You only have goblos? Know why you should play hobgoblins? Yeah, no, I have a why you should play hobgoblins video. I really like the artwork for the hobgoblin video. I was really happy with that. It should be on the playlist. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check.
Yeah. Here, let me. I'll share it.
Okay.
Find it.
Yeah, I found it. Why should play hobgoblins, Dungeons and Dragons?
Yeah.
Why you should play humans? Because being basic is awesome. I'm funny. I make myself laugh.
Yeah.
Hobgoblins are great.
I am very partial to 5th edition's version of Hobgoblins. I don't know. I like them better than Pathfinder stretched out goblins.
Oh, like the design for them?
Yeah. Like, purely aesthetic reasons. Like, I prefer D&D's version of the Hobgoblin.
I can't remember the differences. I think the one I drew is D&D, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good design.
Right.
I'm getting what's that dude from Spirited Away?
The
No Face?
hunter dude? Oh, Spirited Away. I was thinking Mononoke. Yeah, No Face.
Nope. No Face. He's just gonna do that. Draw some ribs in here. Make that a little bigger. I appreciate people watching the playlist. I often wonder how that stuff is like looked at and calculated.
They're the hobgoblins in second edition Pathfinder.
They are just tall goblins, aren't they?
Yep. I'm like, and bugbears are really just taller, hairier goblins.
Taller, fuzzy goblins.
Yep. Don't exactly inspire fear to me.
Pathfinder goblins are definitely a lot more, a little goofier.
Yeah.
Which I like. They hate reading, which I think is funny.
And they love singing.
Yep. Could a butterfly land on a path? Oh, no. Could a butterfly land on a Pathfinder? On a skeleton? Where is my brain right now?
On a ghost?
Oh, I did a thing. Over the weekend, when we were playing Pathfinder, I was like, you know what? My blood pressure's down. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to try some caffeine. Bad idea. Bad idea.
Oh.
Like,
was this during the game?
yeah. Like,
God.
towards the end of it, I started drinking it. But, like, yeah, it made my blood pressure go up like 10 points. And I was just like, okay, can't do that. Can't do that. That's bad. Don't do that anymore.
What'd you drink?
I drank
soda?
No, I drank like half of one of the shitty energy seltzer water things I had.
Oh, yeah, that would do it.
It's like sparkling water with caffeine in it. And I was like, I'll try some of this. And then like halfway through the can, I was like, you know what? Nope. Can't do that. Apparently my body just can't handle caffeine anymore. So
that is now enough.
Yeah. I've always been a little sensitive to caffeine, but it's just been like, I can't have it after 5 or I couldn't sleep, you know. But apparently, nope. Apparently now it's just a no-no. So now I'm drinking just regular sparkling water. All right, there's the skeleton ghost. I like the idea that he doesn't have a lower half. He's just like floating around. Ooh. I think that's kind of fun. I do want to play a ghost. I need to make a why you should play a ghost video. Like, it's pretty similar to the undead video, but ghosts I think are unique enough that they might need their own thing.
And you could break out the archetype.
Yeah. Male half orc. Why are there so many half orcs? Play full orcs, people. Orcs are great.
This is
every week. Half orc, way of the open hand monk wielding chain whips. Wait, if you're the open hand, can you wield whips? I thought open hand was no weapons.
I mean, you could still use weapons. It's just you don't get any benefits for them. So
okay. Okay, half orc, whip monk. I dig it. I kind of want to do like a very bottom heavy.
I should play a mummy.
Why you should play a mummy? That'd be pretty funny.
Yep. the reason for half orcs is I think people like the mechanical benefits of being a half orc.
Sure. Yeah, I mean they're very powerful.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the other races, especially. And it's
'Cause
been
it's
like
like
that for
that-
a while. Like even in Pathfinder, like the half elves and half orcs is just like it's just better. It's just better than being a human or an orc. But I don't know.
People do love that brutal critical that they get.
Mm-hmm. Something like there's a lot of really good orc minis for Pathfinder. So I always try to get people to play orcs. So because I just want to use the minis. I'm like, here, these are awesome. Beat this guy with a giant shield and the cleaver.
With hands on the shield.
Yep. Is this stream for chat suggestion only, or do the ones on the YouTube community post comments count as well? Yeah, so I have all of the community post ones on a list, but you can suggest ones here if you haven't suggested one on the community post. So I have them all written down. And if you'd like to add one, you can. But one per week, I ask just that you only post one per week. So if you have it on the community post, I have it written down. If you have not, please submit it here. Hope that answered your question. I feel like I'm giving this half orc a dress, and that's not my intent. I want him to be beefier. I want beefier orc. Let's change this a little bit.
Beef orcs.
The title confused me. Oh no, what does it say? Did I screw up the title? I don't remember what it says.
Drawing D&D characters for chat.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Yeah. Anybody
that.
I could see
Go
that.
ahead, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say anybody that can come into the chat and suggest things. It's just we let the dice gods decide what gets drawn, so things don't get weird.
Too crazy.
Yeah. Because we used to
like
just
the old days.
Yeah. I mean, I've done a few days where I've drawn like 20 or 30 things, and it's just like it's too much. So I was trying to get through the chat suggestions so fast. And it's like I like spending 20 or 30 minutes on a sketch now. I think that's a little better. It's a little more respectful of the character ideas. It's not a dress, it's a kilt. I was gonna go for baggy pants because baggy pants are great.
Harem pants.
Yep. Fisherman pants. What's the other thing that it says on Amazon? It'll say like fisherman pants, Thai fisherman pants. That was the other one. Thai fisherman pants, harem pants, and then like
Hakiyama.
yeah, something like that. And then just like 40,000 buzzwords in the title of what it is. And it's just like I guess that works. Like I found them, so. Do you like
Probably...
DD stereotypes like bards are horny and warlocks have to be rich kids? Is that a stereotype? Do warlocks have to be rich kids? Paladins must be lawful good all the time. No, I don't actually. I don't like those stereotypes. I think they're fun. Like they're there for a reason. Like a good example of that is like the Grog strong jaw model, right? Like Travis played Grog that way because that's the classic barbarian archetype. And they're fun. The archetypes are really fun. But I think you can still do those archetypes and have unique, fun characters, and a lot of people just don't, because they don't think about their characters as much as they could. So I don't particularly like that people think they have to play those archetypes, but I won't discourage people from playing them, if that makes sense.
So, really, with the exception of Ganlin, I've never really saw a lot of the seductive bard tropes being made. I'm sure it happens, but I've not seen it as common as like people make it out to be.
I've had a handful. I mean, part of it is if you played older editions of D&D, seduce was an option. Like it used to be a stat. And so there's a lot of people that would use that to get out of combat, right? Just like, oh, we're being murdered by a dragon. I seduce the dragon. Like that was the role you made, was to seduce. So that was inherently part of the bard's class when the bard existed. Because charisma wasn't a thing. Like wasn't as big of a thing for other classes. But now with like the sorcerer and the warlock, it's way more common that other people can schmooze people through a party.
Yep. Or the paladin.
Yep. We were talking about that the other day, right? Why does the cleric need charisma to have like channel divinity?
Yeah, at least in the Pathfinder.
Yeah, version. In the Pathfinder version. And that always made sense to me because like it's their will, right? Like, charisma really should be will, but wisdom already exists.
Yeah.
And so the wisdom save became the will save, and then charisma really should be will, not charisma. Because charisma is a little too vague for me. Because a lot of people think it's like, oh, high charisma, I must be super sexy. It's like, I mean, there's been really high charisma people that are not sexy. They're just like, that's 100% a thing.
Yeah. Like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's a pretty charismatic person.
Grifters. We were talking about grifters earlier.
Yes. Grifters are very charismatic people.
Yep.
They wouldn't get away as much as they would if they weren't charismatic.
Yep. And so, like, with the Paladin, we talk a lot about the lawful stupid. It's irresponsible. It's an irresponsible way to play the game because it's usually out of boredom. And if you're not having fun, don't ruin other people's fun. Just let people know that you're not having fun. And so and then there are people that just want to not have fun, like they want to disrupt, and those people I kick out of my games. So I don't have to deal with it very often. I've never like forcefully ejected somebody from the game, but I have stopped play. I have stopped playing. And like, man, if you're not having fun right now, like let's just call it. Like, well, I don't want to ruin it for everybody. It's like you're already ruining it for everybody. Like, let's call it. Let's have it. Figure out what you want to play next time, and we'll play. We'll pick it up. Let's do something else. And that's usually been very helpful to people because some people just aren't quite sure what they're doing, and like me right now, I don't know what the hell I'm drawing. I'm trying to draw a monk, and it's not working. My brain is fried apparently. Charisma equals sexy is a big pet peeve of mine. It's such a surface level thing to do. Yeah, and I think that falls into that, right? Like it is the surface level functionality of it. I'm like, oh, I can charm people because I have high charisma. Like, oh, I'm a lawful paladin. I have to enforce all laws forever. It's like you don't.
No.
And another good example of this is, I think the way I like to explain it is just because you rolled a natural 20 to seduce a barmaid, that natural 20 is only ever going to be as effective as that barmaid would have been effective to begin with, right? So I rolled a natural 20, I get this amazing sword for free. It's like, no, you get the best possible price this person would give you for the sword. Like, give us all of our beer for free because I'm so sexy. And the barmaid's like, tell you what, I'll buy you a drink for free, but then, only because you asked so nice, right? Like it's rolling a natural 20 will give you the best possible outcome. Doesn't mean you get to take control of whatever's happening in the environment. And that kind of mentality is what drives me crazy. And so with the paladins, it's the same thing. It's like, oh, they broke a law, I get to murder them. It's like, what? Would the person in charge of your order agree with you? Would the royal guards agree with you? Because I don't think they would. Like, I think they would be very upset that you just killed a random person and not enacted their laws.
Yeah.
So
Because
big brain thinks. Use your noodle.
yeah, and what's kind of weird to me is sometimes that behavior was like rewarded in earlier editions, where it's like, oh, if you catch the rogue stealing and you're a paladin, you're like mechanically obliged to stop them, or you're complicit in unlawful activities, so you could lose your powers. It's like that's
that I'm actually okay with, but there's a caveat for that, and that is, one, do you notice, and two, how do you stop it? Right?
Yeah.
So like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, the lawful paladin has to follow the law. And I had somebody do something really good. They caught the rogue in the party trying to steal something, to which their response was, put that back. And they said, put what back? And they said, okay. And then they went and told the guards. Right? Like that was a very rational thing to do. It's like, it's not my responsibility to enforce the laws of this town, but it's my moral responsibility to keep the party honest. So like, if the rogue won't do the right thing, I will turn the rogue in for them, or I will pay back the person they just robbed, or I will try to forcefully take the item back to return it, or call the guards. Like, you don't have to just resort to murder. That's the biggest problem that I think people, the overreaction of a flirt or trying to be super lawful. You flirting with a dragon in the middle of combat might make it pause. I've done that. Like, a really good seduction roll should probably have the same as a intimidation roll. The dragon's like about to murder somebody in your party, and you're like, you do the winky face, and the dragon's just gonna be like, what? And then immediately go back to like, no, even though you're so sexy, I have to murder you all. I think that's a good thing. Like, you can try to do those things, and I'll allow them, but it doesn't make the dragon immediately forget everything bad that the party has done to them. I'm in a D&D group, and that group is, I'm acting as Elf Druid. We have 2 bards in the group, so yeah, that's not the kind of party I play. I've definitely had some people that want to play games like that, where they're just like, I go to the brothel. It's like, you go to the brothel. I'm not going to describe what's happening there. Like, that's not what we're here for. So
fade to black.
Yep. We've done the fade to black. I'll roll for performance sometimes. That's fun. Like, that's always a good one. It's like, okay, cool. Yeah, you do that. Go ahead and roll me a performance check, and we'll get back to that. But like, yeah, I'm not here for bedroom talk.
They were highly disappointed.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't affect the gameplay at all, but that's the flavor you wanted. You get to roll.
Yep. Definitely something to be brought up, like, at session 0.
Yeah, I did at one point in time. I was running Rise of the Rune Lords, which has it's like, pick the highest charisma male character in the party, and then this character will go after them. Like, there's a farmer's daughter that if you have a high charisma character in the party, she will just like hound them. That's what the book tells you to do. It's like, she's very interested. And if they ever do like end up going back with her, because she's like, oh, I have a problem, I need you to come check out this cellar, and she tries to seduce the character, then her father comes downstairs, and it causes a whole like fiasco in the town, because then that's the point of that whole storyline. And I did that to I invited some of my coworkers over to play D&D, and this was like her first D&D campaign, and she was playing this like suave gunslinger Gripply. It was really cool. And I started like, this character started following her around and flirting with her, and she just didn't know what to do. Like, she's freaking out. And I was like, I can stop. Like, this is all in game. Like, if you're not comfortable with this, I can be very, very textbook about it. Like, the farmer's daughter is trying to seduce your character. Do you want to roll for it? Right? She's like, no, this is fine. And it was fun. It was really fun. But I could tell that it wasn't something she was expecting, of like, why are these fake characters flirting with me? And it's like, that's really important to have those conversations. Because Because yeah, if you're making someone uncomfortable, like that's not a good time. You don't want someone to have.
Because like that can make people really uncomfortable, and it's like that's a bit weird. Was that beat like a major story thing or things to progress the story?
So in the Rise of the Rune Lords, this is the first chapter, so I don't think I'm giving too much away. There's a whole string of murders, and so this the adventurers show up into town, and they're like, you try to kind of solve these murders that are happening, and then you get flirted with this sister, and then I believe the other sister dies, and so the father starts yelling at you guys for it. And so it gives you an in to, one, talk to the sister because this girl is like obsessed with one of the characters, but two, makes the father suspect the group. And then he starts telling the guards, and the guards start fighting with you. Not fighting with you, but they're suspicious. They're suspicious because all of a sudden, like, oh, you've been hanging around these girls, and it's like, oh, she's got the hots for me, and then the other one dies. Block Prime, thank you. Welcome to the Goblins. Enjoy the sweet emotes. So yeah, it's kind of important that the thing happens. But like I said, it wasn't, you don't have to be weird and like crazy about it. The other funny one we played the same thing with Kevin the Necromancer, and that's where one of his undead characters started. And and so when she started flirting with him, he's just like, I don't want her to touch me. And I was like, what? He's like, I'm disguised as a human, and I'm afraid if she touches me, she'll know I'm undead. And I'm like, that's a good point, because you are a skeleton, and that's hilarious. And so it was this thing where his character didn't want to be touched. His character didn't want to be flirted with. But Kevin the Necromancer was totally fine with the whole story. So that was a really fun way to play the character. Yeah, I don't know. It really is. It's a comfort thing. It's like it's a comfort level thing. And one of the other players in that party was constantly like, I want to go to the brothels. I want to do this. And I'm like, I'm sorry that this other character is getting all the attention, even though you're the one that wants to like chase people around. But for him, it was the same thing. It was just like, what do you actually want out of this? Like, do you want me to try to flirt with you, or do you want me to just throw that you're a ladies' man out there? And he's like, do the second. I was like, perfect. Like, just having those conversations is important.
Yep. Or if something comes up, pause the game. It's like, all right, we're gonna be doing this.
Yeah.
And
Block Prime,
how do y'all feel about it?
Exactly. Yeah. Block Prime. I'm not sure what your name is in Discord. You've been watching the channel since 3,000 subs. Yeah, we're almost to 9,000 subs, which is awesome. Message me in Discord and I will give you the goblin roll, because I'm giving that to all the YouTube members as well, which gives you access to a whole bunch of just digital stuff.
Yes.
Yes. So yeah, I am totally fine when people want to play that way, but the way I play my games, it has to, one, not be disruptive, and two, be appropriate for the things. I've never really ever played a game where people are like trying to be way overly sexy. I'm trying to think of a good example of one of Jump Rope's characters was a anti-paladin of Rennie. I've shown off. I did some art for that, but of Urgathoa. Urgathoa is the goddess of excess, and like she's half a beautiful woman and half a skeleton. So her character would like actively just flirt with NPCs and stuff all the time, and that was totally fine. So, but no, she did a really good job with that. And sometimes it would like get her deals, and sometimes she would get run out of town because she would try to eat them and stuff. It was funny. Urgathoa was a really, really good like undead anti-paladin god to have for stuff. I've played with several characters that would make characters in games uncomfortable if the players thought they were entertaining. Yeah, like I said, it really just depends. Like if you and your if you and the people you're playing with are okay with touching on themes like that, where things are dark and like you have that horror mentality or just like really dark humor, like as long as everyone's comfortable with it, like that's up to you guys. Like there's no there's no blocks on that. I'm never going to tell somebody that like you can't do that in D&D. It's just like you shouldn't do that in D&D unless everybody's okay with it. And even then, it's just be cool to each other.
Yep.
I got a paladin who liked to pick people up and hug them. That's funny. Consent, please.
Himbo paladins.
Yep. Part of the ongoing joke with that character for Urgathoa was that she would make jerky out of things she killed, and then she would offer it to people. And it was just like, oh, I hate it, but that is exactly what I think that character would do. And one time we had a crossover where we had other players come in and join in, and she didn't tell them that, and they were like, yeah, this is great, this character's really neat. And me and Kevin the Necromancer and Jump Rover is just all like I don't know if we ever brought it up to them. It's just like, oh, let's not talk about it.
Yep.
Dark. Gets dark real fast.
You want some goblin jerky?
Goblin jerky. What kind of meat is this? Bugbear? What? Nuh-uh. Dinosaur? Bugbear?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it.
It's bear jerky. There you go.
What kind of bear? Black bear, brown bear, bugbear, owlbear? How's that now? Conversely, when we played Ravenloft and agreed to play a serious horror terrifying campaign, it turned into Scooby-Doo. That's funny. That's too bad.
I would play Ravenloft as a Scooby-Doo character.
Yeah, things we have started turning grim again. Please players, fun and less serious campaign. No matter what, we always end up existential crisis and characters. That's pretty funny, actually. I like that. There's a I'm trying to think of the saying. It's essentially like no battle plan ever. The intent of the party, like what you start out, is almost never how it ends.
Yeah.
And it's just like that's totally fine. Like, hey, we're gonna play a serious campaign, and then all of a sudden people start goofing off, and like if people are enjoying it, that's great. Like let them do that. And so I definitely have had to shift my my way of thinking for a campaign, like mid campaign, because it's just like, oh, I think you guys want to do this. I had a really long running campaign going where people were basically trying to stop this lich that was just kind of devouring the world. And I did a random kind of throw off episode for one of our dragon disciples. So I'm like, oh, I want them to run into some dragon stuff in that. And the little like kind of short narrative that I gave them about the dragons, like they were just all really into. They were super into it. And so it's like, yeah, we can come back to the lich a little later and we'll just start following this path, like this other storyline I had. And they really, really liked it. And I just had to tie it back into the main story eventually. But like that kind of fluid narrative is why I love D&D. So I never feel like you have to always be super dark and super scary. There's always space for fun. We don't shift the tone of the campaign willfully, and the whole group is annoyed by it. I have no idea how or why it happens every time. I mean, yeah, like I said, if everybody seems happy with it, it doesn't really matter. There have been some really good horror movies out there that have funny undertones.
You've been working on this half orc for a while.
I got distracted. Yeah, I built it a few times.
Ugh.
I got real worked up. I like the idea that the whips are just like wrapped around their arms. Got the capoeira. Capoeira? Is that right? Whip with the ponytail?
I no idea. Sorry. I thought you were trying to say capybara. I was like,
No.
this was supposed to be a half work.
Capybara man. One of these days, I'm gonna have to sit down and I'm gonna have to figure out how to draw orc tusks. Jeez, yeah, we did draw this. This is like an hour. We've been talking about this for an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, everybody.
We have been training for 2 hours though, so.
What am I going to do for dinner tonight? That's the real question.
Nice.
Emerald City Comic Con is this week. Wait, is it Emerald City? No, it's SakuraCon? I want to say it's SakuraCon. Don't think I'm going to go. I could. I think I'm going to.
I really would like to get some good tamales, but
Ooh, I should make tamales.
the ones I've had, yeah, like all the ones I've got, I've always been super dry and kind of unpleasant to eat.
More lard.
Yeah, definitely.
The other thing I've noticed with tamales is basically like when you get them, how you get them, and how you cook them can change the way they're.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times when you get tamales, you get them in like a plastic bag from a friend. That's how I always got them. Like, so when you try to heat them up, you have to make sure you heat them up with some water around them, or microwave works pretty good actually.
I used the microwave, but I think that was my, because I think the instructions was to take a paper towel, wet it, and wrap it around it. And I don't know, it could have also just been bad tamales. So
Maybe.
They were from a grocery store.
Oh, yeah. I love tamales. should make more. It's Easter. I could make tamales.
Yeah.
I haven't made anything for Easter yet, which is more of like my family's tradition than mine. So it's like, do I really need to? Maybe. I'm not doing anything for Easter. Maybe I should just make something. Good old Zombie Jesus Day.
Make you some Easter bread, which is essentially just panettone.
The lady in front of me at the store had like 20 cans of condensed milk and like a jar of, like a giant jar of maraschino cherries. And
She's cooking something.
And I'm like, oh, she's probably making like an Easter tart or something. And I almost asked her, and I was just like, no, I'm not going to do that. Just in case. Just in case she's not. And she's just buying all this condensed milk for some reason. I'm just going to leave it alone. I was very interested. All right, I think I'm going to stop there. I accidentally made this half work weird. I don't know how else to say it. I had many ideas and they all just got lost. I just got so.
I guess my question was, did you see like bags of coconut?
Nope.
And was it? Okay.
Nope.
I was gonna say she may be making lots of millionaire pies.
Maybe. Let's see, it was maraschino cherries, condensed milk. She had some half and half. She's definitely making some kind of like flan or custard. But she was missing stuff. She was missing stuff, and that's why I was like, what is happening here? And she had one frozen lasagna. I was like, is that for her lunch while she's making all of these things?
I don't know. Just context clues to me seems like, yeah, that has to be some sort of like something for Easter.
Yeah, it's got to be. Does anyone else do that, where they just like try to guess what other people are making from their carts? Is that just me? I had one dude look at my cart and he's like, "Why are you buying barbecue sauce?" I'm like, "I'm a lazy asshole. I don't know." Like, he's like, "But you have everything else in your cart to just make barbecue sauce." I'm like, "I know. I was thinking about making my own barbecue sauce, and then I just decided to buy barbecue sauce." And then he's presumed to tell me, like, he gave me a whole recipe for making barbecue sauce, and I was like, "Yeah, that's why I bought all this stuff, because I was gonna make it." Damn it. he just called me out for also buying barbecue sauce. I was like, weird. It's a weird conversation. I don't know how I feel about this. That was a long time ago. Okay, I'm done with this orc. I'm done with it. I'm walking away from it. The whip got a little lost. Sorry about that. 7. A female Andy, Nadi, Naughty? A naughty dancer ball.
A naughty.
Is that the spider people again?
Yep.
A fashionable, a naughty dancer bard. Do they have spider faces?
Yes.
Dang it.
I mean, they could also just be a giant spider.
It's just a giant spider wearing a...
Because their real forms are just giant, large, intelligent spiders, but they can shapeshift into a human form.
Okay.
And they can also do like a half form, like how the kitsune are.
Gotcha. I have arrived and bring soup. Welcome in. You've gone all over the place, and we're reaching the food portion of the episode.
Caldo Verde sounds really good right now.
Now I want to make tamales.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know if I have the masa for it.
This is so kind of labor intensive just to make for dinner.
I mean, so?
If you're gonna make tamales, invite friends over to
Did
make
you not
tamales.
just hear me talk about making my own barbecue sauce? like I will. Yeah, no, absolutely.
First,
absolutely.
those are not equivalent of each other. Sorry.
No, but I just like I'll make whatever I'm going to make. I don't really care about the process.
Okay. Because it's just like barbecue sauce is literally just ketchup, molasses, and brown sugar, and spices if you want those.
Yeah, but you got to cook it. You got to cook it, and then you have a gooey gluey pot. And you don't make like a little bit. You got to make a whole bunch. So you got to put it in jars, and it's a pain in the ass. I got really upset the other day, and I started trying to like learn how to make my own. What was it? The egg drop soup. It's like I'm never ever again paying for this. So I'm very much in the mindset of I will cook whatever I want to eat, because I can't have other people cook it for me because they put too much salt in it now. So
do what I want.
I do what I want. Nothing can stop me. I made something the other day that was like way too intensive for what I wanted to do. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to make the whole thing. But I can't remember what it was. It was something weird. I made rice balls. I made sushi. That was fun.
Sushi bakes.
Oh, it was pizza. I wanted pizza, but I didn't want to order pizza, so I made like I just started making pizza dough. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make pizza dough. So I just made pizza dough from scratch. Like 2 PM. It worked out.
Here's you some anadis.
Do. All those food talks make me hungry at 10 PM. Oh boy, yeah, no, it's like 2 o'clock here.
A little after 5 for me.
I got an impromptu D&D workshop tonight, so I figured I'd bring some soup and homemade bread. That sounds good. That sounds like a good... I don't see the pictures. Where did you post these?
Oh, crap. Sorry.
Sorry?
Posted into a different Discord.
I don't think they're going to have the huge elf ears. Oh boy, that's creepy. I forgot about the little floofs.
Yes, they're very much like modeled off like peacock spiders. I wish I had some kale. Make me some soup.
There's almost nothing that's not, 2 or 3 hours out for making.
Yeah. Well, the soup I want to make is usually just like at most 40 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, except for like extended like cook. Like, so if I was gonna make tamales for this weekend, which maybe I'll do that. Like, I could slow roast some pork or something. I'll probably do some like slow roasted chicken thighs or something, and then use that for the filling. But I could do that for dinner tonight. I could have that done in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Pressure cooker, exactly. Yeah, pressure cookers are great.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you do make tamales, just like freeze them and express ship me some.
You do that, yeah. Hopefully my mouse is not full of ants.
Well, yeah.
That's
Or
been known to
weevils.
happen. Yeah, weevils.
So they got put in the fridge.
That's actually a smart. I should probably start keeping my mouse in the fridge. I just don't have a lot of space in my fridge.
Freezer?
I need a big freezer. I don't own one.
We got one. About
Like, as soon as you have, like, 4 people in your family, a large cooler freezer makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
ours isn't terribly huge. It's pretty easily moved, but it was about, I don't know, 250.
the other thing is, like, when I lived in Idaho, like, when I was little, going to the store was like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
And so, like, freezers make a lot of sense. Especially, like, I had cousins that lived in McCall, and they would have to drive. Yeah, they'd have to drive like 2 hours. So they'd buy like 8 to 10 gallons of milk, just like throw them in the freezer. But
Especially like if you live in a family that has to like rely on food stamps, like buying in bulk and having a deep freezer is very helpful.
Yep.
It's the most sensible thing to do.
But like right now, it's like it makes more sense for me to go shopping every week. It's way easier to do that than try to store all that stuff. Because even like my food in the freezer I have right now, I forget about it. Like it goes bad.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Hold on. Gotta catch up on the chat here. UK Tensons are great. Tried a vertical growing method for potatoes. JFC was the harvest bountiful. Gotcha. Door columns made empty cat litter totes. Interesting. We tried that last year and it didn't work out well for us, so we might try it again this year. We have to make new boxes though. I hunt, so I thought I'd live alone. Deep freezer and dehydrate were a must. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Dry store stock. So that's usually what I do for stocks. I just buy like the they're in like cardboard boxes. Those work really, really well because I'll make my own whenever I do whenever I pressure cook anything. I'll just kind of turn it into a stock and then take the meat out, and then strain it. That works really well, so I can make my own stock when I have it. But most of the time, yeah, I just use the store ones in the boxes because I can grab that, take like a cup of it, just put it in the fridge, and it's fine. We don't go through it that often, but I used to make tons of soups that way too. It was really nice. I was thinking earlier about Autognomes and Warforged and thought of a cool difference is Autognomes are robots powered by arcane magic who don't get death saves but can be revived. That is the weird thing about Autognomes is like they are constructs, but then in 5e they're like, oh, well, what if we make them constructs that can be revived again? And it's like, guys, stop. Like they have the spark of life, I think is what they call it, which allows them to do that. Whereas the Warforged, once again, shouldn't be able to be healed. Like the Warforged should have to be mended, which is weird to me. And I like that. I like the construct not being able to be healed. So I'm fine with that for the Autognomes or the Warforged. But that is the Autognome's special ability, is that they can be healed with magic. Even though the Warforged can too, for stupid reasons. So not a big fan of that. But it makes the game easier to play, and so that's fine. So if it's more accessible that way, great. I really like the mending spell and the make whole spell as a means for those. And it makes the characters a little more unique. Especially if you want to like not roll with a healer. If someone in your party can't benefit from healing, like that's a great way to do it. I also like the idea of like Warforged that are healers. So they can't heal themselves, but they're just like, I'm here to help people. A battle medic. God, tamales sound really good. Oh, but I'd have to go buy banana papers. Dang it. I might have some somewhere. I usually throw them out, though, because they don't save well. Warforged are living materials. So the old Warforged in 3.5, they were constructs. And then in 5th edition, they were just like, oh, they're people. And it's like, okay. Be a real D&D pro, play a Poppet, stealing clothes off clotheslines. I like the Poppet. The Poppet's fun. Like Baymax? Yeah, Baymax is a... Yep, healing robot. I dig it. Would Warforged having racial spells that give them passive healing like a D4 per round with concentration for a minute? I mean, that's essentially what the mending spell will do. If they can use mending, they can just repair themselves indefinitely. It just takes an action. It's a cantrip, I think. Where's the mending spell a level 1 spell? I don't remember now. Oh, dry store stock. Okay, you dehydrate the stock into condensed paste. Gotcha. Yeah, I've never made that myself. I do miss having access to like deer and elk meat. My cousins used to go hunting all the time, and they'd make like elk jerky every year. Oh, I loved that. That was really good. Vertical potato columns. Yeah. Make them out of tires. Might as well. I need to send you venison. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This person is supposed to be a dancer, so I'm gonna put some like jingly bits, things that twirl and whip, maybe some ribbons, definitely some bracelets. That just looks like a poofy sleeve. That's not what I want. About to make fry bread and deer tacos for the neighborhood because I got some deer that needs to be made into a toast. Nice. That sounds really good. You got the foam coolers in the drive-thru. No, I'm probably fine. I'm probably fine. Thank you, though. I do appreciate it. I went fried bread and eggs on toast. That sounds pretty good. I did a skirt steak the other day. One of our employee meals when I used to work at this Peruvian restaurant was the asado borracho, which was just a skirt steak with rice, beans, and an egg. Oh, so good. My whole plan was to do that with that skirt steak, and I totally forgot about it. I just made a whole bunch of different things. Food is good, and I love cooking, and I used to be a chef, and I stopped because I got sick of it. And now I'm slowly remembering, like, oh yeah, cooking's fun when you're not doing it for a whole bunch of shitty people. Not that the customers were shitty. I had a really kind of a rough boss that I had to deal with. I didn't like making him money. I low-key pissed off my state because I'm exempt from having to get registration tags when I go hunting. Benefits of belonging to a tribe. Nice. I view hunting as a religious thing. That's great. That is super great. Be responsible. That's all I gotta say. I'm sure I don't have to tell you. I do like Idaho is really, really protective about their hunting rights and stuff. And so, like, it's very, very regulated. My grandfather was always very adamant about having his tags with him and stuff. Never got into it. Never got into hunting. Yeah, I didn't really need to, I guess was the big thing. So my cousins and my uncles loved doing it, and they would just go do it. I was like, yay. I never really got into it.
Yeah.
Some of my cousins were bow hunters, which always really impressed me. I got pretty good with a bow, but never went hunting with them. I really like bows. They're a lot of fun. One day I'd like to have enough land to, like, be able to shoot or go out with my bow and just not be bothered by people. Someday.
Okay, Ted Nugent.
You take that back. That man is a kook.
Oh yeah.
It's got to be nice to people.
But your dream is not too. But your dream is not too far off what he's actually done.
Oh yeah, no, I totally get that. Yeah, I 100% subscribe to the move far away from everybody. Partially because I want to get away from Ted Nugent.
Well, he's in Texas, and you're in the almost said northeast, northwest. Yeah. So.
Handcut blood goes in compost pile, skin tantalus. That's great. That is a big project that that's partially one of the reasons that I never really got into hunting, because it's like I want to do that, but all I really want is elk jerky. So it's just not viable. One day it would be nice to have a farm and have and then go through that whole process, you know.
You're wasting the blood. You need to make blood pudding.
Blood pudding.
That's a very European thing to do, though.
I think I'm about done for the day. It's 2:30. I'm going for a little while. For those of you that didn't get your stuff drawn today, I still have the list, so I will be drawing it again on Friday. I'll keep the same list, so you don't have to worry about it going away. Yeah, other than that, thanks for hanging out today. Thanks for letting me rant a little bit. I don't have anything else to add, I don't think. I might try to make a short tonight again, so if you have D&D questions or comments that you want me to talk about, post those in the Discord or here in the chat or anywhere on a YouTube video. Maybe I'll find one of those. But yeah, Block Prime, definitely send me a message in Discord and I'll get you access to the Patreon rewards and stuff, because those come with the membership. People do want to join the Patreons, you're very welcome to. We also have a Discord membership up now, as well as the YouTube membership. All of them kind of grant the same thing, so you only really need one of them. But you get access to like the digital rewards from the Patreon, as well as access to some of the special art sections on the Discord. Some of the sexy art. Some of the little pieces that I work on, like for commissions and stuff. Those all get posted there. But that's all I got. That's all I got for today. Thanks again for hanging out. Be back on Friday. I might be around on Twitch tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out. But otherwise, that's it. Stay happy, stay healthy, keep your dice on the table. See if we can find somebody to raid real quick. Call her a day.
Raid.
Nope, no one's around, so we'll just call it. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.